What are some horrifying things to consider when thinking about aliens? Aliens could do to us what we did to wolves. Selectively breeding a once noble species in grotesque ways. Transforming us into the equivalent of bulldogs, poodles, dachshunds, etc. That they cold been here the entire time, playing Farmville with us. Would be scary to imagine a starved, desperate race of beings that are trying to keep their world alive by any means necessary. The possibility of them already knowing about us but us not knowing about them. We have no idea if they know. They could be committing space espionage right now, and we wouldn't know about it. It's possible that they are fat single-cell organisms just loafing around. One theory, from Stephen Hawking, is that if they are sufficiently advanced, that aliens may treat us like ants. When we build dams, we don't worry about whether or not a dam will cause an anthill to be flooded out. Similarly, a species that is advanced as far beyond us as we are beyond ants might seek to alter our planet or even our solar system to their advantage without giving consideration to what may happen to us. For all we know, aliens might not be the little green men that fly around in flying saucers and destroy us with laser beams. They could be an interstellar pathogen that show up one day and silently and effortless kills us all without warning. Our immune systems would have no idea what hit them. Our human concepts of morality and empathy are heavily influenced by our mammalian biology. Imagine that aliens land, and instead of having nice little family units their species lays clutches of thousands of eggs at a time. They don't form strong bonds. Life is essentially expendable for them. They see us weeping over a dead child and they have literally no frame of reference for understanding why this would be upsetting. I'm not saying all aliens will be like this, but some definitely could be. They might be sexy, and they might be horny. What if there really is valuable information to be gained from O'Neill probes? We are so sorry, we can't protect you anymore. The assumption that they come in groups in some flying saucer. For all we know they might just appear in hordes of thousands if not millions all across the planet. Also, we like to think that aliens will share the same way of thinking as humans. i.e. reasoning, emotions, etc. But the only reason we think that is because that's the only thing we are familiar with. Aliens might have completely different emotions or thought processes than us, but we won't know because we never encountered them before. It's like the fourth dimension. At this point it's pretty well established what it is, but most of us, if not all, have no clue how to visualize or properly explain it. Extremely unlikely, I know. But if aliens ever come to Earth it likely means they are a spacefaring and interstellar capable species with tech at least centuries, if not millennia, ahead of ours. In other words, if aliens are even remotely capable of traveling to our planet, we are pretty much outgunned hilariously. They might bully you. The speed of light is 186,000 miles per second. I think that any aliens that are capable of traveling light years to reach us have no interest in our resources. What if it ends up the other way around? What if we end up being able to travel between the stars, and we find some aliens that aren't as technologically advanced as we are? I could easily see us being imperialist invaders, committing the atrocities we've committed against each other on an entire species, so we could have a second planet with an oxygen atmosphere and easily attainable natural resources. That would be truly horrifying. The scariest thing to me is thinking that aliens want nothing to do with us. I don't get why everyone thinks that aliens would attack us immediately. It's one thing if we come into their territory, but if they stumble upon us, we are most likely safe. Them finding us would mean they are incredibly advanced. Anything they could get by attacking Earth they could get far easier by harvesting it from a different planet in our solar system. Unless they feed specifically on brainwaves, it isn't worth the hassle to attack a planet teeming with life. They may have some weapons, however primitive, that might be used against you. It's far more frightening to believe that aliens will one day discover us and won't be interested. They won't want us on their intergalactic councils. They won't want to give us medicine. They won't want to form any bond. If they decide to just leave humanity alone, that means either they have decided we are not worth saving, or that we are too close to destruction to be worth the resources. That they could be massive, taller than buildings, and eat us like bacon strips. My main thing is that they'll bring a virus or something that'll just wipe us out cause we've never seen anything like it. Or we'll be immune cause it's too alien. Who knows? But until there is actual proof that there are advanced aliens out there, I'll stick to the idea that they are bacterial cells on Titan or something. That one day they will just wipe out our planet without us ever knowing why, and that it will be so fast we don't even realize it. That they don't actually exist. If there were no advanced civilization that can colonize other planets, that would mean that most of them go extinct before they reach that level of technological advancement, which means that we are probably doomed to extinction too. Since life on this planet is one big cycle of eating other living things, plants and animals, to survive, they might be so horrified that they press the big nope button and end it all. They can also come in different forms than we expect. You could have an alien made of sound waves or a microscopic alien. Maybe they treat us like we treat pigs, cows and chickens. The fact that they could pretty much see us as inferior life forms. Thus, they could make us slaves, their food or test subjects. It wouldn't be something personal. They just would look down on us, like we would do with some ants. Not even worth it changing the direction of a step to avoid killing. They might not have orifices for eating or pooping. Hear me out. Almost all life on Earth is topologically equivalent to a donut, meaning we have an outside wall and an inside wall, digestive and respiratory tract, that runs like a hole through us, and our important bits are sandwiched between these walls. One of the only examples of life that isn't like that would be, for example, single-celled organisms, amoebas and such, which just kind of ooze over whatever they acquire sustenance from and osmose it into themselves. Currently on Earth only microorganisms are like that. Edit. Also some weird ocean creatures. But there are fossils dating from before the Cambrian explosion from millions of years ago which hint that a completely different type of large and complex organisms might have evolved to walk the Earth before that evolutionary lineage was wiped out by an asteroid or the like. One of the oldest of these rare fossils is of a zero orifice creature that was about a meter long. We don't have a lot of info from life during that age, but it indicates there may have been an entire evolutionary track of complex life forms favoring life that is topologically equivalent to bull instead of donut, and that's on Earth. So, yeah, we could very well find an entire planet of giant, whose amoebas have assorted species and intelligence, who neither eat, speak, or crap like we do. Just try figuring out how to breach that cultural and language barrier. Edit. For those asking for more info on the ancient Earth giant amoeba fossil, I read about it in The Science of the Discworld, co-authored by Pratchett and two others, which is a very cool take on a popular science book about our world. Yes, don't worry, not about the Discworld. Although alternating chapters use a fun Discworld frame story as an excuse to look at the cool science in the science chapters. I'll see if I can pinpoint where in the books they talked about this fossil and update. If I find it, would highly recommend this as a popular science read BTW. Very entertaining and educational. Edit 2. Found it. The class of fossils are called Ediacarans. An excerpt from chapter 23 of The Science of the Discworld. These creatures are known as Ediacarans, after a place in Australia where the first fossils were found. Asterisk they could grow to half a meter or more, but as far as can be told from the fossil record, seem not to have had any internal organs or external orifices like a mouth or an anus. They may have survived by digesting symbiotic bacteria in their cells, or by some other process we can only guess at. Some were flattened and clustered together in quilts. We have no idea whether the Ediacarans were our distant ancestors, or whether they were a dead end, a lifestyle doomed to failure. No matter, they were around then. And as far as anyone knew, not much else was. There are hints of fossil worm casts, though. and some very recent fossils look like. But we are getting ahead of the story. The point is that nearly all Ediacaran life was apparently unrelated to what came later. That they found us, observed from a distance for the past 10 years or so, and had declared the planet a disaster area that nobody should ever visit. What if their cheeks aren't clappable? You know those tribes that live on islands in the Pacific that haven't had technological progress in thousands of years? That's sus. You know those international logging companies that would love a chance to just compo over the island and take what's there. Somewhere there's an alien Greenpeace that's just barely getting by on a shoestring budget. The fact that any life form that advanced that showed up to Earth without wanting a peaceful contact would likely just show up, vacuum up all the resources and leave us to die without any communication or anything. Think about it. When humans go into nature to get resources, they don't kill all the animals. They just take what they want and leave. For some reason, that is more chilling to me than aliens just blasting the planet with lasers. I don't think a peaceful alien would contact us. We are violent and very territorial. Things that would be in opposition to any kind of peaceful alien or interplanetary federation. We are only an intelligent species because we defined ourselves that way. Think of it. There is only a 1 difference in DNA between chimps and us. Meanwhile, the difference in intelligence is huge. We are exploring the cosmos with our advanced telescopes. Meanwhile, the smartest chimp is stacking up rocks. Now think of an alien species that has a 1 DNA difference with us lining the other way. Their simplest thoughts would be too complicated for us. The smartest person on Earth would be like a chimp stacking up rocks for them. Now think of a species with another 1 difference. We wouldn't even be like ants walking on the floor to them. We would be less than that. And you could go on like that. 10, 20, 30, etc. What would we be? So insignificant that no one in the cosmos would consider making contact with us. Is the truth of the cosmos and reality actually really simple, but we are just too stupid, like expecting ants walking on a football field, to understand what's going on the field? Do we not know what we don't know? The dark forest theory kinda freaks me out. The universe is a dark forest. Every civilization is an armed hunter stalking through the trees like a ghost, gently pushing aside branches that block the path, and trying to tread without sound. Even breathing is done with care. The hunter has to be careful, because everywhere in the forest are stealthy hunters like him. If he finds another life, another hunter, angel, or a demon, a delicate infant, a tottering old man, a fairy or demigod, there's only one thing he can do: open fire and eliminate them. The other day, I looked at pictures of the universe and thought, what if Earth is the size of a marble ball to an alien? I think it's called ant theory. That we are so small, we can't possibly comprehend the space we live in, and see or acknowledge other beings. That it's already happened. That aliens came to Earth, destroyed what was already living there, and took over. That we, humans, had been the aliens. We won't know about their existence until they attack us. What if they were like, really, really big? That they are going to treat us just like we treat animals. The idea it just might not be possible to ever interact with them, even if we can detect them. What if there is no magical technology that sidesteps the speed of light? What if the hard fact is that it will take over 500 years of travel to pass a single message along? For all we know, they could be infinitely physically stronger than us.